The Delhi fog is back, and this time before the Festival of Lights, Diwali, as the air quality index for the national capital has been pegged at poor, with particulate matter 2.5 recorded at 119. Agencies have warned of further deterioration. System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research has in fact advised all people and children to avoid prolonged exertion, and also issued precautionary advisories to the residents of the national capital. The situation is a grim reminder of last year, where the post-Diwali fog lasted almost 10 days, forcing the government to call the situation an emergency. There was a considerable upsurge in the number of patients complaining of chest pain, asthma after the festival, while AIIMS reported a 35% spike in patients. Another government hospital in central Delhi reported a 20% spike in such cases. Though the Apex Court has banned the sale of firecrackers in the national capital region till the 1st of November this year, the pollution levels are expected to be lower than last year. But there are several other factors that come into play as far as the poor quality of air in Delhi is concerned. The first one being pollution from vehicles plying in the city, which contributes to a whopping 63% of air pollution. Stubble burning from neighboring states is another major contributor, which, though banned, continues unabated. Construction across the national capital, emission from industries, rampant deforestation and ever-increasing population density are some of the other factors which lead to the increase in suspended particulate matter. And like every year, Delhi is again filled with smog in its air, and the air quality index suggests Delhi's air is poisonous for its people. Most of South Asian cities, in fact, suffer from extremely high levels of urban air pollution, particularly in the form of small particles. Nagain Singh brings you more in this detailed report.
It's around this time of the year that the air quality in India's capital and its adjoining areas starts to worsen. This is due to the onset of winter coupled with crop burning in neighbouring Punjab and Haryana and bursting of firecrackers on Diwali. India's National Green Tribunal has banned the practice of stubble burning in Delhi's neighbouring states. The residue from the burning of paddy fields drifts to Delhi and has an adverse impact on the air quality. But farmers in Punjab and Haryana say there is no affordable alternative to crop burning. Despite the National Green Tribunal banning burning of crop residue, post-monsoon paddy burning in Punjab and Haryana is taking place every day.
Yes, बनु है चोरी तो फूंकना पड़ेगा, चोरी तो फूंक कर अपना बह दे रात को बस ये करना पड़ा. इसमें बख्शीश नहीं है बिल्कुल भी. एक बनु है अब मान जा कुछ सामान करके या मान जाओ उसमें करके कुछ वो नहीं है इसमें.
In the past week, the pollution level in Delhi has gone up by up to 11 times.
So this is the situation which is just around 50 kilometers away from New Delhi. So you can imagine the situation in the interiors of the villages in Haryana and how much of the paddy fields might be getting burnt over there.
Last November, the Indian government declared an emergency situation in the national capital after successive days of heavy smog and toxic air. The situation looks eerily similar this year too. With Nagain Singh in New Delhi, Bureau Report, WION.
Joining us on the broadcast this evening is Chandra Bhushan, who is the Deputy Director General of the Centre for Science and Environment, joining us from Alwar. Also joining us is Dr. Prashant Saxena, who is the Head of Department Pulmonology and Sleep Medicine and the Principal Consultant Critical Care Medicine at Max Smart Super Speciality Hospital, joining us from Delhi. Coming to you first, Dr. Saxena, how serious is the impact of the toxic air that Delhiites are breathing on their health?
See, Delhi is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and we every day breathe the most polluted air, and which predisposes to many of the respiratory problems which we encounter every day. Nowadays, we are encountering children, elderly people, young age females with lot of problems which are related to respiratory issues.
All right, I do want to take that across to... Yes, go ahead.
Increasing every day. So the pollution is increasing every day. Now we have only one chance, how to reduce the pollution and how to reduce the air pollution level. With the Diwali coming on, we will encounter more and more pollution because of the crackers and because of the household activities which take place. So it is very important for us to understand that crackers firing and crackers are not very good for the environment, because crackers, once we burn the crackers, carry poisonous gases, poisonous fumes, which are
All right, hold that thought there, Doctor. I also want to take that point across that you just made to Mr. Chandrabhushan. Mr. Bhushan, we're looking at multiple levels of question marks on why is it that Delhi's air quality has, and the quality that Delhiites are breathing has plummeted to such levels that we are looking at various areas across India also which are pointing fingers towards the authorities in the national capital. Where do you think the accountability really lies?
About a year back, central government came out with an action point of about 30 or 40 priority action that state governments and central government had to take to contain air pollution in the NCR area. And there were many things. It included things like stopping of crop burning in Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh. Was to control pollution from trucks and vehicles in Delhi. We had to control air pollution from factories and power plants, dust emissions from roads, control on construction industry. It was a large list that every level of government had to implement. Unfortunately, what happened is that for the past 9 months, or maybe about a year post Diwali last year, has not got its act together. Punjab government has raised its hand, saying that it will not be able to control burning because of hardship of the farmers. Central government did not come up with impact for farmers, so they can stop burning. We have not been able to control construction industry or thermal power plants, and automobile pollution continues. So frankly, we have an action plan. We know exactly what to do. We are not able to implement it, and I will hold everyone accountable for this state of action, for this state of affairs.
All right, stay with us, please, both our guests. I also want to get in a quick reaction from our correspondents who are joining us on the broadcast. Nagin Singh joins us from National Capital, and joining us is also Pragya Jha, correspondent in Mumbai. Nagin, coming to you first. You've been speaking to multiple people ever since Supreme Court of India imposed that ban on sale of firecrackers in the Delhi NCR region. What have they been saying so far? How effective do they feel this ban really will be in tackling this crisis on ground?
Well, we just spoke with few of the people over there, and they believe that it's a very good decision, but this is their worry, that the implementation is the real worry, because the ban on firecrackers, this is a recent ban. However, most of the people, they already bought firecrackers in Delhi, and these crackers will be burst on Diwali and the day earlier or the day after. So they believe that there is a ban, which is a very good step, but it's not going to be really effective for Delhi. And this is just about this particular season. We are talking about winters, or when winter arrives. This is the situation that Delhiites face every year. And the other thing is about NGT ban on the burning of residues and the stubbles in the field of Haryana and Punjab. This is something, while speaking with most of the farmers over there, they say that they are afraid with the ban, and there is a fine of 5,000 rupees that they have to pay if they burn 1 acre of land and the residue in 1 acre of land, but they say that they will be burning it at night when no one is seeing it and when the police or the administration will not be able to find them responsible for it. So all these bans are there, but their improper implication may cause the same situation this year as well.
Absolutely. What is Mumbai really saying at this point? Pragya Jha joins us from Mumbai. It's very interestingly a limited ban that we are seeing in Mumbai, Pragya. What have people been telling you so far?
That's right. So the ban is not absolute here in Mumbai. The High Court last week did order restrictions on setting up of firecracker shops in residential areas. Now I'm standing in Lokhandwala market in Mumbai. It's one of the up markets here, but the scenes that I see this festive season are not, similar to what it's been every year. Every other year we do have firecracker shops on either sides of the road, and I should tell you that this is also a residential area over here. Now there are shops on either sides of the road and there are also residences on either sides of the road. So this year around we see that there are no firecracker shops here. Now people say that they do welcome the High Court's ban, although this ban was there even the last year, the year that went by, and there are some people who say that the Supreme Court's ban should be replicated here for Mumbai as well. But definitely the firecracker traders whom I spoke to last week were not happy with the ban. They say that such a ban that comes in just before Diwali or comes in the wake of Diwali. So they say that they should have come in much earlier. But the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court also made a statement that your plea, renewing license, also comes in just ahead of Diwali. So the sentiment here amongst traders is low. But for residents, they'll have to go a little more far away to fetch their firecracker wares.
Absolutely. Too little, too late is the reaction coming in from the residents of Mumbai. Stay with me both, Pragya and Nagin. I want to quickly take that across to Mr. Bhushan. Sir, do you feel that, of course, besides the multi-pronged approach, there's also a level of consciousness that needs to be questioned amongst the people of particularly national capital Delhi, which is dealing with the highest levels of pollution?
Absolutely. I think to say, firecracker, take the case of firecracker, there is a ban, but we will need the support of citizens to make sure that this ban is properly implemented. Ban will not work without the support of people. There's already online sale of crackers that I see. And therefore, people must realize that their support is required to reduce air pollution. After all, it is about their health, the health of their children, the vulnerable community, the vulnerable people in our community who are going to suffer extremely because of the air quality. I was looking at a prediction for the next 2 days, and the air quality in Delhi is predicted to be extremely poor. And we are just entering Diwali. And like last year, as you said in the beginning of the program, Delhi was a gas chamber. Yes. Let's hope that the people can come together. We understand the severity of the situation and support the government in containing the pollution levels.
So while the ban might be well-intentioned, of course, to begin with, but without the people's support, it is rendered ineffective. Also, Mr. Bhushan, I want to come to you on the aspect of stubble burning. I also want to take that across to Dr. Saxena. Mr. Bhushan, the kind of laxity that we've seen from the authorities when it comes to tackling the issue of finding an economically viable solution to removing or burning paddy residue. Why is it that the government or the authorities have taken so long and dragged their feet on the issue?
See, first of all, it is important to understand that it is a difficult issue. Right. We are dealing with millions of farmers, millions of acres of land, and you need all arms of the government to come together, from local and state and union government, and with the support of the farmers to implement it. After all, the economics are following. You need about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees per acre to make sure that the stubbles are moved. And the farmers don't have that kind of money. And therefore, you need some sort of support being given to the farmers from the state government or youth government for this to be successful. And apart from that, then you really need the support of the farmers themselves make it successful.
Mr. Bhushan, stay with me. And again, I want to take you in on this. What reactions have we gotten so far from the government when it comes to stubble burning and the impending thick blanket of smog that Delhiites are fearing already?
We recently traveled to Haryana, and there the government has come up with a ban, and we spoke with police, and police said that they are keeping an eye. There were PCR vans and everything. However, even with the presence of PCR vans, the farmers were still burning the stubble and the residue of the paddy fields, and they just burn it and they get away from there. And after that, the police cannot really claim that who is responsible for this fire. While speaking with few of the farmers, they say that okay, if they don't burn it in the morning, then they will burn it at night when no one can find it, that who is burning it. And speaking about Delhi, while we met people over here in Delhi, they have realized that it's not just the government or the Supreme Court who has to ban, the sale of firecrackers, but they have to understand that what was the situation last year, and they would not like to repeat, or they would not like to live in the same kind of situation what we faced last year, when it was even difficult to walk out of the house, and you could really feel that how polluted the air is. So overall, what we realized over here, speaking with most of the people, that they understand that it is a collective effort which is required, and it's not just the role of the government or the Supreme Court to make our city more safer or less polluted.
All right, considering it's of course not just firecrackers, smoke and pollution, which is something that Delhi is grappling with. Two largest sources of PM 2.5, 38% being road dust, as we outlined at the very beginning of the show, and 20% being vehicular pollution. Delhi's 3 municipal corporations have just 19 mechanized sweeping machines, which were brought in as a result of the ambitious plan of vacuuming Delhi's roads. But of course, that remains a long shot as well, unfortunately. Dr. Saxena, what tips would you like to give to Delhiites in order to safeguard themselves, and what can they really do at this point to ensure that something is done to protect their lungs from the impending crisis?
I think we must do everything what we can for protecting our lungs, because pollution is one of the biggest threat to the mankind, and we as individuals are getting more and more vulnerable to the pollution threat. And if I say we have encountered an increasing trend of the patients who are coming to us with more and more respiratory ailments, be it the children or the elderly. But we have seen that there is an increasing trend of the increasing respiratory ailments, be it acute attacks of breathing difficulty or acute attacks of asthma, all of these are coming because of the increasing pollution. And we just want to have our environment which is free, which is safe, and we just wish that we could have some reforms where we could have an environment where we could live freely. Because once we have increasing in the respiratory ailments, there's a lot of patients who come to the hospitals. There are many who will not get admitted to the hospital, and because we have a scarcity of beds, and we have encountered a situation where the medicines which are used to treat these increasing respiratory ailments, even they are exhausted in the times of epidemics. So we should be very careful that we should not have these situations which come to us, and we should have parameters, or we should have such government
absolutely. Let's also at that point listen in to some reactions from the citizens of Delhi, and what exactly have they been saying on air pollution and the latest order which bans sale of firecrackers. Take a listen in.
Crackers which have already been sold, they can be burst. So we don't know exactly how many crackers have been sold as yet.
More measures should be taken for that. People should understand that. Not only government, we should also understand that.
Instead of curbing a ban on and implementing a ban on crackers, they should curb that crop burning issue. So they should first prioritize that on this list.
I do have time for one quick reaction from Dr. Bhushan as we wrap this up. Dr. Bhushan, the laxity on part of the authority is also coming to the fore time and again. But according to you, has the government done enough in dealing with the crisis? What else can it do in the near future? Because the rampant fear is that the damage is already done. People who are intending to burn firecrackers, unfortunately, would have probably stocked them up already.
Yeah, I mean to say, government has not done enough. That would be a polite way to say. We need support of people. There is still, we are entering winters. Government will have to make more things. Equipment that 3 municipal corporations has bought in. More needs to be bought.